Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Today, we're going to talk about a really cool technique for using any leftover foils that you might have. Yeah, we've done a few videos now on using foils, different ways to use them. So let's take care of some of the scraps that we have left. Okay, I'm sorry about my camera. I know my internet signal is a little weak, so you'll still be able to hear me talking, but every once in a while the picture might pause. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going with it because I don't want to, have you guys waiting on videos too long. Okay, so just beautiful. Check out that shine. It's just gorgeous. I love these cards. They make me really, really happy. So, yeah, let's go on to the next thing. So, what you're going to need for this technique is you're going to need, so again, this is the beautiful card that we're going to be, style of card. We're not going to remake this one. I'm going to make a different one for you. But what you need is this thing here, and it's called the Premium Crease Pad, standard size. Can be used in the Big Shot, Big Kick, Vagabond. It's by Sizzix. So, same place where you're buying your plates. You can still use this Sizzix one. So you need the premium crease pad, standard size, from Sizzix. And you can see that it's just a black, I wouldn't say that it's quite foam. It's quite similar to the magic mats, actually, if you have those, but it is bendable. This is a different plate than what you would use if you were embossing a die or something like that, okay? So the next three videos, we're actually going to be using techniques using this particular tool here. Okay, so I'm going to use this in my Gemini. So basically, you're going to set it up for however you would set up your machine for embossing a die. Okay, so you want to push the impression without cutting through your die. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on my regular cutting surface. Okay. Now, the other thing that I've got here is a piece of white paper. So you can use cardstock. You can even use copy paper. It doesn't matter. And I have put double-sided adhesive tape on it. So I have the nice big roll. So I have a big full piece on. I'm going to lay that with the tape side up. Okay. Then I'm going to take a die. And the dies for this particular one, you want ones that have areas, things like that you can peel and add different colors into. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to lay that down, and I want my die cut to cut into the double-sided adhesive. That's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to lay that down here, and you might hear my die cut machine. You might not. I don't know. It's sometimes people say it's quiet when it's on. Shazbut. Okay. See if I can get that without moving it too badly. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just going to run that through my Gemini Junior. Okay. So I'm going to pull this out. Okay, so you can see I've run it through just as I normally would. It doesn't matter that it's off center or anything like that. That's perfectly fine. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my die off. Okay. What you can see here, and I'm just going to put that to the side. So what you can see is all of the areas where it cut into the double-sided adhesive release paper, not my die cut. Okay, so I'm turning that over here. Hopefully my internet will catch up. There we go. Okay, so you can see it hasn't cut all the way through onto my die cut. Okay, so while you have your die out, the other thing that you want to do is you want to cut an actual die. Okay, so one that you can put over top. Okay, when you're cutting and you're using it on the your double-sided adhesive, you want to make sure that you're doing it on white cardstock. I cut the top part out of black. That's fine. You can do black, white, whichever one you want for this particular technique. But the bottom does need to be out of white because we're going to put colors on top of it. So you want it to look, like it's supposed to. So I'm just going to put the one that I just did to the side. Actually, no, I'll just do this. Okay. So this is the one that I had done earlier. So all I did was go around and trim off the excess around the edges here. So I'm just going to pull out my scissors that I use for adhesives and things like that. And you can see, I can see where the line is. So I'm just going to follow it I can even go a little bit inside the line because eventually we are going to put this die cut back on top. So it doesn't have to be exactly, it's fine. But just for demonstrator purposes here, we will do this. That's a little too far out. There we go. So, and this is a pretty easy cut because it's already, your die cut has already pushed into the double-sided adhesive here. So you're just basically following the line there. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. So these are just scraps. You can throw them away, or if you're one of those people who likes to keep those things, go ahead and keep them. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to keep my I want to keep my die cut in viewpoint, in view, because I'm going to need to reference it. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some, these are tweezers that have a really fine point. So you can use tweezers, a weeding tool would work, anything like that. Okay. So I am first going to peel. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to lift certain sections of my release paper. Just put that to the side here. Okay, so I'm going to have the background of my butterfly. So, and this is a leftover piece of foil. Okay, so you can see here where I either foiled with it or it's been pretty wrinkled up. So I don't like to use that for my hot foiling. But this, if you've gotten a piece that's been pretty crunched up and stuff like that, this is an excellent technique for using the rest of that foil. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that foil with the shiny side up, and I'm going to go along and I'm going to just kind of push it into the area where I just released that paper, or the release paper. Okay. Now, if you want, you can take your bone folder and you can go along the edges. You don't need to do this. Usually if you've got a good fingernail, or you can just kind of buff it, rub it in. I try to be careful though, because you don't want to scrape up your foil either. And then we'll pull this back. Check that out. So cool, right? Okay, now I have another big area here of what I'm considering the background of my butterfly, right? So the butterfly, this here, I want to have brighter colors, but this I'm going to consider sky or something like that, okay? So that means I'm going to peel this. Okay, like that. And I'm kind of running out of some of the bigger pieces of area, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go in, buff this down using my finger. Right. That's really irritating, isn't it, with a thing disappearing like that? Okay. And I'm going to take this bigger space here, and I'm going to go back over like this. Okay. And now you can see here, there's a couple of spaces sprayed in here that are a little tacky. You can still see the white coming through because it wasn't, that was an area that was a little folded. So all I'm going to do is put my foil, shiny side up again, and I'm just going to go back over it and buff with my finger into those areas that I might have missed. Okay, because I can layer it on top. So this is looking pretty good here. Now I've got this area here, which also I would consider to be sky or background, whatever you want to think about that as. Okay. Got this nice big strip of blue here, so that's what I'm going to use. So go in like that. There we go. Okay. So here we go so far. So I can put that to the side. Now, I have some other colors here. I have greens and blues. I have some rose gold, some shattered reds, and shattered silver, iridescent. These can all be used for this. Okay, so what do I want to do? So again, I like to reference again my this part here, because it tells me what it's much easier for me to see it, the black on the white, versus sometimes what happens on the release paper and stuff like that here. So I think what I want to do, I really love the look of this shattered gold. It's pretty cool. And I think I want to do some of the bigger areas in the shattered gold. So because I'm using the shattered gold, I'm going to try and peel some of the bigger areas. Not try and peel, I am going to peel them. Of the areas that I want to have as this shattered gold color. Like this one here. I think I'm gonna do this one here. Now, it's really up to you, but I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. But first, I want to stick down this side. I don't want it to be too exposed for too long because, well, I'm in the basement and hubby's doing laundry. So that means I could get, a little bit of fuzz, things are shaking. I don't want that getting onto my adhesive that's exposed already. Right. Wouldn't be the end of the world if it did. Okay, so now because I like my butterflies to be quite symmetrical, I'm going to go in and do the same thing. See if I can bring this up time here. So you can see here, I can see the edges of where my die cuts cut into the release papers, but not the adhesive behind it. So all I'm doing is going in with my sharp tweezers here, just the sharp edged. So another, as I said, the other thing that you could use is if you've got a weeding tool, weeding tools work excellent. That. Okay, and what else? This one here. And that one. Okay. Now, because this shattered has a direction to the shatter, I want to make sure that I've pretty much got that the same as I did have on the other side there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I like it to look like that. Just because I'm just that bit extra, what can I say? Okay. All right. Now, how do I feel about that? I think that I need this part here to be a little bit yellow as well. I think that that would give it like it's almost like coming off the body. So I'm going to peel those two pieces. Yeah. Okay. Put that to the side. Let's hold that up. Wait for my internet to catch up here. Here we go. How cool is that looking now? Okay, so next color that I've got is I've got some, what do I want to use here? Some rainbow colors that I could use. That would be kind of fun to just use that and peel off a couple of pieces and use the colors there. Actually, I could do that. I think I want to do that one last. So let's do some choices. Sometimes I just have many choices. Let's see here. Let's use this holographic scrap because that could be really neat on some of these big, some of the bigger chunks here. And then what I'll do is I'll use the rainbow that's left for, ow, these tweezers are so sharp. I keep poking myself. It's twice today already. A wee bit of glue on my tweezers, which doesn't help for making sure that these release papers come on. Not easy, not easy. There we go. Now, so I'm just going to take this, rub it in. So, and you sort of start to see where you're actually rubbing. Like you can see here where it's been kind of indented. And then you can peel that back. And there we go. A little bit of silver there. Oop, missed a spot. So if you miss a spot, it's not a problem. You just go back, pop your foil back on top of the adhesive. Oops. there. And then, and just popping that one back in there, making sure that it's all buffed in, matching all of the areas, and peeling back the foil. Okay, so we're kind of coming to the end here, getting pretty close. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to pull all of these little fine ones at the top. As you can see on the example here, these are pretty small, or on the die cut. These are all pretty small little pieces, but you want them to come out because you don't want to leave any of that white in there. You definitely want this color go down because it's part of what makes your card look absolutely spectacular, in my personal opinion. So I don't know how well all of this is translating. I hope that it's all coming through pretty decently, but I can see every once in a while that my internet is popping in and out there. That's what happens when hubby's home and, you know, it's a Sunday, things are getting done. So how's everybody coming along with their craft rooms? Did you see my last video where I posted for the new year, talking about what I'm going to do for my make an effort to kind of, okay, so the ones that I want to try and do for the top area here, I think I want to try and get this like the green to the turquoise, and then on the bottoms I'm going to do kind of this purple to blue, purpley pinky color. I think that'd be pretty cool. You know what? I lied. I'm going to do the pinks and the purples because I've already got the turquoise for the background of the sky. So I'm just going to go in and just use this. Okay. Making sure to push it into all of these little spaces. Now, some of these are very small. That's okay. You just got to get in there with, you can use your bone folder, use your finger, tweezers, whatever. Just got to get in there and kind of push them in. Show that Sukwang who's boss. Anyway, so for New Year's, as some of you may know, may not know, I'm doing a 12-month declutter, destash, organize of my craft space because it hasn't been making me feel great for a while here when I come down. You guys, I did film the video that shows, basically took you guys all the way around through my craft room, through the basement and showing you what's what and how everything's looking, which is, you know, as I said, I was a little embarrassed about it. But it's, you know, I'm hoping that by doing this kind of together, we can help keep each other on track. That's kind of my hope. I hope that that works for everybody else as well. So at the end of January, I will have a check-in video to kind of show you my progress so far. Yeah, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 12 months doing that. And you know, hopefully you guys want to join in. I know that there have been some comments with people who will be joining us on that little jaunty journey or whatever of organizing and cleaning. I know a lot of my friends have already said and been swearing at me for getting them to do this, which is, I think, pretty funny. Because, you know, I mean, it's funny. Nobody's making you do this, but I think, you know, we all really spend a lot of time and a lot of money, a lot of our funds and everything go to this particular hobby. And you know, we all deserve a space that we really enjoy. And sometimes, you know, because of the nature of this hobby, particularly if you're a paper crafter and you know, you go out to crops or something like that. I mean, essentially you're, you know, you pack up everything and you take it with you. So we're consistently pulling out stuff. So it's very difficult in this hobby for it to stay, you know, for our craft rooms and stuff to stay clean and organized, because that's not the nature of it. We utilize our supplies, we utilize our tools, all of those kind of things. So while we're doing that, it makes it very difficult to keep everything all in line, etc. You know, and obviously things that are staying on your shelf are not going to get used. And you know, you want to be able to use your products. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? You want to be able to use, is that okay? So if you're not sure if it's a sticky area or not, you can go ahead and try and stick your finger on it. See if you can touch down into there. But some of these spaces are quite small. Go. We're looking at so far. Look at that. Pretty cool, right? So now, obviously, this is all still white, so that this is not going to be the final, this is what it looks like kind of thing. Okay, so there is another one right here. So this, I don't know if you guys saw that, but this particular hole right here was really difficult to see. So I was able to reference my die cut there to see if that was still there. If there was something that needed to be removed there. So I'm going to continue to finish this one because there's one more step of what we need to do in order to complete, obviously, this project here. So there's no point in kind of letting you go here without giving you the final goods. Let's see. Should be able to hit that part there. Oh. What are we doing? Nope, it's that part there. I do have super on it. There we go. That'll make better. There we go. Okay. So let me see that it's right there. You can feel. So you can often feel the spots too, because they will still be a little sticky. You will have a little bit of stick around the edges. Sometimes around some of these edges and things. What is that? No, you stinker. Yeah. Got a piece of soup wing. And the little release paper still stuck in there. Ah, that's better. Okay, good. All right. All right, so now I've just got just a couple more pieces here. So I'm gonna go through and just finish these. And then what the last piece of the puzzle, before you can actually turn this into a card or add it to a base or something like that, whatever your end result or your end, whatever it is that you're aiming for as your last finished product, is we're going to peel up the rest of the release paper, and then you stick, well, get stuck in there, so, and then you take the die cut, and that goes onto the top to all of the areas that are still sticky. Okay. Looks like there's supposed to be a really small piece in there someplace. I don't think I'm going to get that one. Okay, so let's take these and rub it across there. A bit more in there. Pretty big piece. There we go. And down in there. Okay, let's put that to the side. Clear off my mess here. Woo. All right, so the way that I like to do this to check and see how things are shaping up here is I like to put my die cut over top like this, and then I like to look through and see, do I see any areas of white that might still be my release paper that, you know, I need to peel up before. It's not the end of the world if we miss like one or two little pieces or something like that. We can always do it after we add the die cut on, but it is easier before you go and do this last part of the process here. So I'm gonna put slip my tweezers just along the edge here underneath, start to lift soup wang, just like that. Okay. I'm going to try and hold it in the areas that are already covered with the foil because I don't want it to, yeah, I don't want to remove too much of the stick. So as you can see, the antennas from the butterfly here have kind of not lifted as easily as the other ones. There we go. Okay, very nice. Now comes the tricky part because the most important part is the body because I can kind of cut around the edges here. So I tend to like to try and hover, if you can, hover the body over the areas, cover the main part, line that part up first, and then kind of stick it down. Pretty good on that side. Okay, the butterfly part. Still got a few places, a little bit of white there. That's okay. All right, now I'm gonna roll that out. Well, I'm not gonna roll it out. I'm just gonna put my hands on it and smooth it out a little bit. Now, you can see here that I do have some edges of white. That's all right. I can come back with my glue here and just kind of take my bone folder, get it along the edges here, just like that. Okay, for any areas that I might have missed, it's not a problem to go back and just add in. Well, it's not even so much that I missed them. It's the areas where, like when I was sticking down my die cut, that there is, when your die cut cuts it out with the, what's the word that I'm looking for? With your release tape here and stuff like that, it's a little thick. So you will have an area that is just a little bit of an edge, just a little bit of a lip. So you can always go back in and just kind of catch those little areas with your bone folder, tweezers, whatever, or a nail, you know, if you've got good, nice, sharp nails or something like that. Yeah. Catch it in the edge there. That. And we see another edge here. Okay. And I want to catch the edge of this butterfly. Yeah. Well, I think it's the butterfly, but just this wing. There we go. Thank you. Oh, that's not too bad. Got a few sticky areas, so I am going to pull out the rainbow one a little bit here. Just kind of buff my finger over the top here. Let it catch in a couple of those areas. If there is still too much and you find it's still a little too sticky in a few areas, you can always just go ahead and put like some baby powder on here or embossing powder, like the embossing buddy kind of thing, the one that you use, the anti-stick. I'm not sure that makes sense. Buzzing, it's an awful lot. Okay, so here's what we've got. Look at how gorgeous that is. You get this beautiful shine off of this really amazing colored just all this extra foil, which is really nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto a card back. So I happen to like, I'm going to be putting it on I believe this is a 5 by 6.5. So it's one of those awkward cards, but I think, so I can either do, so there's a couple of options here. I have some sentiments that are just waiting over here. Like that's kind of cute on there, right? Like big hugs, that's nice. Let me see here. I also happen to have, let me see if I have a nice, okay, well, I do have birthday wishes. That could go along there and still be quite kind of see. I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. Let me see, what else do I have here? Now, other thing that I could do is just do this, and then I have a simple sentiment strip. You look younger than ever. Happy birthday. That's kind of nice, isn't it? I like that. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm always on the lookout for as you guys have heard, birthday cards are, yeah, I never have enough birthday cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this panel up because you can see it's a little bent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the panel up using some just dimensional tape here. So, and this dimensional tape is just from the dollar store. It's not anything special. I have heard that Big Mama foam tape is really good to use. I don't happen to have that though. It's kind of difficult. I think you can get that from Simon Says Stamp. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's even available here in Canada. I've never seen it anywhere, so I don't know. But a 3M tape or whatever you've got that you use for making dimension kind of thing. So I'm just going to pop this up, but I do want to have it fairly, not necessarily solid, but I want some decent coverage along the back of it here because I don't want it to cave in and I want really good adhesion. So I'm using quite a few pieces. Make sure that I catch the outside here with full piece. And I can this one in the center. Oops, a little too far. A little too far. All right. So I can put this back on the end of my here. All right. Now I'm going to peel back the release papers. Fortunately enough, I have nails, so this is not difficult. I'm sure that this is, when my nails are not as long as they are, this can be quite challenging trying to get this release paper off. All right, so that's upside down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to hover this up here a little bit, but I do want to kind of center it side to side. Trying to get it a little, making sure that it's mostly straight. Now it's paper crafting, so it's not going to be entirely straight. That's not bad. Okay, good. Because again, I did cut the edges too, so it's not going to be perfectly straight. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put my sentiment down here like that. And for that, I am also going to pop it up on some, I have some thinner dimensional tape here. And a little piece that's very difficult to maneuver here. There we go. All right. If I was sensible, I would have had some strips prepared for this to just put behind this, but what can I say? I was not ready for that. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. So you look younger than ever. Happy birthday. And I want to put that down here. Try and have it centered on the main focal. Just like that. All right. There we go. So that's the one that we created today. Beautiful shine. This is, I know it's Christmas one, but that's okay because, you know, I'm always making Christmas cards for my stash because I make a lot of Christmas cards and send out a lot of Christmas cards. So these are the two beautiful cards that we have here today, utilizing your leftover foil and the Sizzix Crease Pad. So hopefully you enjoy that and give it a try. If you have the crease pad, it's an old tool, so you may have it in your stash. If you've got leftover foil, give it a go. If you don't, the next video will also be utilizing the crease pad in case you have it, and some glitter. If you've got microfine glitters, bring them out. We're going to show you how to use them. All right, everybody, thanks so much. Thanks everybody for subscribing. Thanks to my new viewers, and I hope to see you soon. Please subscribe, hit like, share to your friends. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.